next remedy is Cilicia. Cilicia is useful when there is angles of eyes are affected, swelling of lacrimal duct, aversion to daylight. It produces a dazzling, sharp pain through the eyes. Eyes are tender to touch and worse when closed. Visions are confused. Letters run together on reading. Styes, iritis, and iridochoroiditis with pus in anterior chamber. There is a perforating and slugging ulcer of cornea. Abscesses in cornea after traumatic injury. Cataract in office worker after the effect of keratitis and ulcer cornea. Clearing the opacity use the 13 potency for months. Then next remedy is the sulfur. So when we can use sulfur, there is a objectively what we see in a patient that there is a lacrimation in the morning with a burning which is followed by a dryness, swelling and upper pain in the lid with lacrimation. Eyes are dry in a room, lacrimation in open air, lids are red and swollen in the morning. There is a redness of lid and conjunctiva, eruption of pimples on upper lid, heaviness of the eyes, morning agglutination, and nocturnal. Redness of eyes during the day and violent itching in the evening. Inflammation of eyes or lid with a swelling, redness and of conjunctivitis. A white vesicle on the white of the eye close to the cornea. Purulent mucus in the eyes. There is a much itching in the brows and tip of the nose and of the lid with the burning. Then there is a dryness of inner surface of the lid with the burning, dryness, smarting, itching of the lid margin. Morning there is a sandy, sticking and burning in the outer canthi. Pricking in the eyes causes one to scratch and rub them. There is a biting of eyes and lacrimation. Every often a feeling of heaviness, aching in the eyeball when reading or writing. Characteristics of sulfur that it is worse by washing, bathing, early morning sulfur worn it L'Oreal chiefly in chronic diseases, but it is none the less important in acute condition or as an intercurrent remedy. It is especially useful for people subject to skin eruption or after such a eruption have been suppressed. Even many years before by local treatment, sharp darting pain like a pin prick in a Thuja occidentals. So Thuja, it is the next characteristic remedy in a eye complaint when there is a nocturnal agglutination, pimples on the lower lid margin, styes, right eye, white on eye, much inflamed. Subjectively, the patient feels that there is a tearing pain in the left brow, disappear after touch, lid feels swollen and is as if a foreign body were in the eye. There is a burning and stinging in the edges of the lid, evening and in the eyes with the injection. Eyes feel dry, sandy, pressure in the eyes, a painful stitch through the center of the left eye and commencing in center of brain. So, this is a homeopathic therapeutics for the diseases of cornea. And next is a diseases of sclera. So, in a today's topic, we will discuss about the diseases of sclera. So, what is the sclera and its diseases? So, there is the inflammation of sclera that is the superficial. When there is the inflammation of sclera superficially, it is called as the episcleritis. Diseases of sclera are relatively rare, and the reason are there is a relative avascularity of the sclera, and second is the lack of reaction of its dense fibrous tissue to any insult. For the same reason, when they do occur, the diseases tend to be chronic and sluggish. So, when there is a superficial inflammation of sclera, we can see there is a episcleritis. This is a benign inflammatory process affecting the deep subconjunctival connective tissue, that is the episclera, and sometimes including the superficial scleral lamina. And the second event, there is a deep inflammation of sclera, so this is called as a scleritis. So, in the episcleritis, when there is an inflammation of subconjunctival episcleral tissue with a superficial layer of the sclera, it is called as the episcleritis. So there is an inflammation of subconjunctival episcleral tissue with superficial layer of sclera. Etiology in that we can see in the in that there is it is seen in the elderly people. It is associated with rheumatism or gout. There is allergic reaction to endogenous toxins like tubercular or streptococcus. So it is mostly seen in a young adult, more in a female. It is idiopathic, that is the most common. Allergic reaction to endogenous toxins, for example, a streptococcal or tubercular infection like a herpes zoster, herpes simplex, syphilis, etc., and other collagen vascular diseases. Pathologically, there is a dense lymphocytic infiltration in the subconjunctival and episcleral tissue. So, symptoms of that is mild pain or irritation of the eye with the localized redness. So, on examination, the two clinical type of episcleritis, that is diffuse, that is simple, and nodular. It may be recognized if sclera is seen acutely inflamed in the involved area. In diffuse or simple episcleritis, although whole eye may be involved to some extent, the maximum inflammation is confined to one or two quadrants. So there is a sectorial redness with a mild tenderness. In a nodular episcleritis, a pink or purple flat nodule surrounded by injection is seen, usually situated 2 to 3 mm away from the limbus. The nodule is firm, tender, and the overlying conjunctiva moves freely. So, nodular episcleritis, when we see there is a small purple nodule with the surrounding injection situated 2 to 3 mm away from the limbus, usually on the temporal side, and the nodule is immobile and tender. So, clinical course is episcleritis run a limited course of 10 days to 3 weeks and resolves spontaneously. However, recurrences are common and tend to occur in bouts, rarely a fleeting type of diseases. Episcleritis periodica may occur. So, this is a diagram A, that is the simple or diffuse episcleritis. In that, we can see there is a sectorial redness with the mild tenderness. And second is a B, that is the nodular episcleritis. This is the diagrammatic representation of nodular episcleritis. In that we see a small purple nodule with a surrounding injection and is situated 2 to 3 mm away from the limbus, usually on the temporal side, and the nodule is immobilized and dead. So next is the signs and symptoms of episcleritis. In that there is a pain and tenderness in the eyes, hard pinkish red nodule, no discharges, lacrimation or photophobia, 2 to 3 mm from limbus, nodules are fixed to deep structure and tender to touch, never ulcerate. Hyperemia of surrounding conjunctiva, it can spread to deeper layer, that is scleritis and uveitis. So when it can spread deeperly, it can form a uveitis or scleritis. So complication is that when there is a recurrent attack and when the attack are fleeting but frequently repeated, and it is called as episcleritis periodica fullex. There is a chronic episcleritis, deeper extension into the sclera leading to scleritis, sclerokeratitis, and last is the adherence of conjunctiva with the sclera after repeated attack. So normally the condition is transient with a spontaneous remission within a few days, but sometimes it gives rise to following complication, that is recurrent attack, chronic episcleritis, deeper extension to sclera leading to scleritis, uveitis, sclerokeratitis, and adherent to the conjunctiva. So next is the treatment. So when we see the treatment in allopathic treatment, allopathic physician can use hydrocortisone 1% drop 2 hourly. Local heat general treatment is more important than local and elimination of septic or tubercular force. So this is a diagrammatic presentation of episcleritis. This is episcleritis. Then scleritis, that is the inflammation of sclera and is more serious disease than episcleritis. Etiology, it is usually bilateral and occur most frequently in women than men, associated with a connective tissue disorder in 50% of cases. Example, rheumatoid arthritis, polyarthritis nodosa, systemic lupus erythematosus, Wegener's granulomatosis, relapsing polychoroiditis, etc. Then herpes zoster as a local cause, miscellaneous systemic condition like tuberculosis, sarcoidosis, syphilis, leprosy, etc. So, it is the inflammation of sclera, that is the scleritis. It is bilateral, mostly seen in women than men. In toxic and allergic condition, it is most common. Endogenous infection, that is the acute suppurative lesion, tuberculosis, syphilis, leprosy, and viral. Secondary infection from peripheral or intraocular tissues and may affect the sclera. Systemic and metabolic diseases, that is rheumatoid arthritis and gout. Pathology, that is the inflammation is much more severe than episcleritis. Infiltration of sclera layer with a lymphocyte, and there is a necrosis of sclera, that is the thinning. So when we see the classification of scleritis, that it can be classified as follows. That is, first is the anterior scleritis, it is 98%, and non-necrosing scleritis, it is 85%. This is the diffuse scleritis. So this is the diagram of diffuse scleritis, and this is the diagram of nodular scleritis. Second is a necrotizing scleritis, which we seen in a 15% with inflammation and without inflammation. So this is the diagram of the with necrotizing scleritis with inflammation, and this is the diagram of scleromalacia performans, that is the without inflammation, there is a necrotizing scleritis, and second posterior scleritis in a 2%. So symptoms of that are marked pain in the eye radiating to the frontal lesion, lacrimation, signs in that pinkish red area with a hyperemia of surrounding conjunctiva, patch of scleritis is elevated and tender when pressure on the lid and prolonged course. So complication of scleritis is that there is a inflammation may spread to the cornea in the form of tongue-shaped opacity, associated uveitis, iritis, iridocyclitis. Thinning of a sclera causes a bulging of uveal tract, that is the staphyloma, which can cause a secondary glaucoma. And treatment is that same as the episcleritis and analgesics we can use in this. So when we see the scleritis, there is a inflammation of sclera and is more serious disease than episcleritis. And etiology is that it is usually bilateral, occur more frequently in women, and associated with the connective tissue disorder in a 50% of cases. And in the pathology, we can see there is a deposition of immune complex in the sclera, leading to the inflammation. Then mark infiltration of lymphocyte in the scleral lamella with the edema and breakdown of the solemn lamellae with necrosis. There is a scleral thinning and simultaneously inflammation of uveal tract causing the uveitis. And symptoms when we see there is a intense deep-seated pain with a radiation towards the forehead and there is a redness and lacrimation. And in the signs we will see that there is a diffuse anterior scleritis, nodal anterior scleritis, anterior necrotizing scleritis with inflammation, anterior necrotizing scleritis without inflammation, that is the scleromeria performance, and the signs and symptoms of scleritis. After that, we will see that there is a complication, that is inflammation may spread to the cornea in the form of the tongue-shaped opacity, associated uveitis, iritis, iridocyclitis, and thinning of the sclera. Next is the treatment. That is treatment is same as the episcleritis and analgesics is can be useful. So in today's topic, what we learned that is the homeopathic therapeutics of corneal diseases and diseases of sclera, that is episcleritis and scleritis. From tomorrow, we will study about the staphyloma. So till that, thank you everybody and have a good day.